Hi, it's Jeremy, the Tall Trainer. I just wanted to talk about some flexibility considerations for sports. I guess one of the first things is one thing you need to know is that flexibility isn't always a good thing. As if the body is too flexible, doesn't have the strength to back it up, it can actually hinder performance and put you at more risk for injury. So hypermobility, a lot of range of motion, isn't necessarily a good thing unless you have good control and good strength. Also, really loose muscles tend not to respond quite as quickly, to force changes. So that's a consideration. Also, you want to make sure that you're balancing that too. On the flip side, is most of the time, the muscles can be overly tight, and that can really limit the ability to move, perform, and really risk injury in that regard because of true tightness. So what do you do? What do you do for flexibility? We've done a lot of research whether you should stretch before or after or during, or they researched all these things. They really found there's not a whole lot of correlation over when you stretch to a decreased risk in injury. So if you stretching before a competition doesn't make you less likely to injure yourself in that competition. So what they recommend, the best wise words of wisdom, the best stuff that's out there right now is doing stuff that's more of active flexibility. So a warm-up that consists of taking your body through ranges of motion, to get ready for a competition. Getting those things going. Maybe you do a leg swing or something like that to get the legs loosened up. So those types of movements. So just getting the body moving. They talk about really doing an active warm up, not just jogging around in circles, but actually doing particular exercises to warm up with. So that would be like kind of the start off. At the end is a pretty good time to work on your flexibility if you need to gain some additional flexibility. So that's when the static stretching can be pretty handy. And so static stretching is that you're leaning out, you got the stretch and you're holding it for a while, and that can be a handy way of working it. Another time you can actually work on your flexibility is during your strength training. Is that if you're holding the right positions, good postures, things like that, and moving in proper ranges of motion, is you might actually be able to enhance flexibility while building strength. And when you build those two things together, the flexibility is a lot more performance based. It's a flexibility that will allow you to do things. So even something as simple as dropping into a squat here, some people don't have the flexibility to hold the right position. They do all sorts of funny things. They don't have the flexibility to get down really low in the squat. And so, but working on a squat and doing it the proper way, all of a sudden gets the hips to stretch out a lot more. Probably the gold standard, I guess, if you really want to try to increase particular joint range of motion pretty quickly, is proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. It's a huge word, or words, but it's called PNF stretching, because nobody wants to say that, every time they have to say it. Basically, the idea is that it's a contract and relax type of stretching. So I'll demonstrate a little bit here on the floor. What you could do is, let's say I'm going to a hamstring stretch. A lot of times this worked out really well with partner stretching. So I'm going to come into this hamstring stretch here. So I gotta pull back, toes are flexed back towards me, getting a stretch. And now what I would do is I would contract the hamstring muscle like I'm trying to pull my leg back to the floor. So I'm contracting and pressing through there. You do about 6 seconds. And then you relax. I'm not moving the leg a whole lot. But then once you relax, you actually try to take the stretch a little bit farther. And so that contracting against the force there, can really get the muscle spindle to relax a little bit more, and then you can actually gain a little more flexibility out of that. So if you're really trying to increase flexibility because you have a particular problem, a lot of young athletes, especially male athletes, who have grown a lot recently, their bones have gotten longer, but their muscles haven't gotten longer to match them yet. And so hamstring flexibility a lot of times is a really big deal, and that can cause knee and lower back problems for the young male athletes there. It can happen with female athletes too, of course, but it happens typically more with the male, because femurs grow quite a bit there. So that's a type of flexibility you can do to really increase range of motion. So the most important thing, as you talk about flexibility or injury prevention, these things like that, is to make sure you just have a really balanced program, that you're working on your body in a lot of different ways. You're not always doing the same motion to your body, because when you're playing sports, you're not always doing the exact same motion. Sports is a lot more fluid than that. So there's a lot of other positions you need to be able to control and have flexibility and strength and power in. And so developing that balance in your program is going to be huge. So having the strength, having proper flexibility that doesn't limit your movement, but not hypermobility, and then balancing all those things together is really what you need to do. So if you want more information, I am putting together a summer conditioning boot camp. You can go to the website, talltrainer.com. I think it's /sportsconditioning.html. And if you go there, you'll get some information about how the camp is put together, and you get a lot more information from me because you're going to be seeing me a lot. All right, hope you enjoyed this about flexibility, and have fun, be safe.